Well, we apologize for those of you who listened the day of publishing. We were a day late and $1 short, and for that, we're not even giving ourselves applause, right? We're just going to cut the music. We're going to go straight to a little...
You know what? Mom and Dad needed a day to rest. You know what? I'm not even sorry.
Yeah, we did. Actually, after a long trip to Jefferson City to celebrate our dear friend Jordan, who got married, who is also an ample listener of this podcast. Thank you, Jordan, for listening. We appreciate you. Appreciate all of you for checking out the Am I Doing It Right pod, nominated for the Best of Kansas City, Katie Keller.
Yeah, voting's open until June 16th. Vote. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. Really, we just appreciate being nominated and that you're still with us through this dumpster fire.
I don't think it's a dumpster fire.
Sometimes it is. I'm okay with it. I embrace it. I embrace the flames.
It's a controlled fire. Okay, it's like a bonfire, right? Who doesn't love a good bonfire?
All right.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Go us. KansasCityMag.com is where you go to vote on this. And one of the things I really like, now I will admit it's kind of an annoying extra step, but it does make it fair because, listen, we are up against all other... There are some great... The Arrowhead Addict is in there. A podcast I'd never heard of, but called Lawnarchy is in there, which is a great name for a podcast, and I would like to check them out now. But of course, the big dog is New Heights with the Kelsey brothers, right? Now, I don't think they should be nominated, not because they're not awesome, but because it's best local podcast, and half their podcast is filmed in Philadelphia. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not going to get into it with you. I mean, I support Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce in all of their endeavors.
For sure.
And I quite enjoy the New Heights podcast.
So do
honestly.
But we're trying to win here. So we are trying to pull off the upset like the Chiefs in Baltimore. So any help we can get would be appreciated. But what I love that KC Mag does is that you actually have to create a profile to vote. And that's really going to help us because if you think about it, the Swifties, right? They're diehards. They will do anything.
Well, I didn't even think about the Swifties.
And they want Taylor and Taylor's love to win everything. So I think Swifties, there are those who would spend all day just voting for New Heights over and over and over and over and over again by having to use your email that prevents it. Now, I'm not saying people won't still create fakes, which some Swifties might because they are diehards. And I respect your fanship, but I'm just saying, at least I feel like it at least gives us maybe a fighting chance to pull one of the biggest upsets in the history of Kansas City.
Could you imagine?
It'd be awesome.
We'll go out to dinner. We'll celebrate.
We will.
We'll do something fun.
KansasCityMag.com. As soon as you go on their website, you'll see right at the top, it says Best of KC24. There's a picture of a cow in the logo. And what you do is you just go ahead and click on that. Under the City Life category it'll say Best Local All This, and then Best Local Podcast. Please vote for Am I Doing It Right with Mike and Katie Keller.
I believe we're right before Best Local Politician. Cool. It's in alphabetical order.
Cool. Also, follow us across all our social platforms at Am I Doing It Right Pod, which we are not doing it right on social. Quite frankly, we could do a little better on that. That falls on me and you. I need to create more clips for the show. You need to post more Chandler stuff, if I'm being honest with you, babe.
I do.
But we do appreciate the follows at Am I Doing It Right Pod. And we appreciate your follows there. Speaking of awards, I'd like to start with a little bit of congratulations, if you don't mind.
Okay.
A few of my former co-workers who are on the local radio scene here in Kansas City brought home some Missouri Broadcasters Association's awards.
They did.
Congratulations to my friends. And the biggest one, kind of the one I'm most proud of here in Kansas City is there is a radio station called KC 1021. Big variety station. Natalie Rush, your program director, Jen Johnson, your morning show host, and they brought home Station of the Year. So congratulations to KC 1021 for radio station voted best large market radio station in Missouri, beating every other radio station in Kansas City and St. Louis as well.
Yep.
I know that radio station for a long time. They faced a lot. When I was there was a lot of technical challenges. So to see that staff, they got a really small staff, and the fact that they were able to pull off like a best station in the state of Missouri is pretty cool. So huge shout out to KC 1021. You guys are awesome. And then the award that I actually won with my friend Jenny last year, Best Large Market Morning Show Talent, that actually stayed in the building and went 2 doors down. Shout out to Dale Carter, who hosts the morning show 94.1 KFKF, the Large Market Morning Show of the Year. Well done, Dale.
He's awesome.
The baby Dale.
Talk about a Kansas City classic. I mean, Dale, he always hits it spot on. His morning show is great. I enjoy it.
KFKF has been around for 60 years. I believe Dale has been in charge for around half of that, around that 30-year mark.
He's awesome. I love Dale.
So shout out to you, Dale. Shout out to the whole staff at KC 1021. You guys are awesome. I'm proud of you. I'm sad that I don't see you every day anymore, but just know that it was I was kind of seeing those posts come in on social media, and
you're proud.
I was happy for
Proud for your friends.
I
Happy
know
for your
what
friends.
know what that feels like. It's cool it's cool when you don't go out like seeking awards, but it's a pretty cool thing when your work is acknowledged and somebody who is apparently some sort of expert tells you it's the best in the state. It's just a really cool thing. So congratulations to you.
I remember
guys.
when you won it last year. It was an experience. We had so much fun with Jenny and her husband, and
Yeah, I hugged a lot of people after winning that one. I was pumped.
I was a proud wifey that night. I was very proud because we saw, because we have friends here in the industry here in Kansas City, but we also have a lot of friends in Columbia from our previous radio station that you and I both worked at there. So you winning that award, just kind of coming full circle, I think it was a special moment for both of us, I think.
I won that in front of our old friends from Columbia. I also won that in front of my very first radio boss ever, a guy by the name of KC Caldwell. Runs 107.9, the Coyote out of Camdenton. It was my first ever radio job, and he was there and saw me. He was actually the first one to greet me at the photo area you have to go to. Gave me a big old hug and just said, "I'm so effing proud of you." We cussed a lot. It was like the good cussing, it was like the excited cussing. So that was Rick. Congrats to everybody. I know that small station in Camdenton, 107.9, the Coyote, actually brought home a ton of awards in the small market category last night. Hey, nope, there we go. Coyote gets a shout out too. Good job, kid. Good job, Dan. Everybody down there at the lake and our friends at the Zimmer Radio and Marketing Group in Columbia. They always bring home a ton of hardware. So just a lot of love. All across the state of Missouri. Speaking of the state of Missouri, the reason we're a day late and the dollar short in publishing this episode is because Mom and Dad hit the road.
We sure did. We took a trip down to Jeff City with Chandler. We left on Friday afternoon. My very, very close friend and college roommate, Jordan, got married. Met the love of her life, Kyle. We love Kyle. He's great.
Kyle's a handsome gentleman.
He is a handsome
God dang, buddy, you look good.
But he's just a good dude, too. Like, he's a good one. And, she's one of the closest things I've ever had to a sister. And her family has always taken me in, and it was so nice to be able to stand by her side on her big day. Me and her sister were matrons of honor, and Chandler was actually a flower girl, which I know you and I were both sweating if she was gonna make it or not.
I wasn't sweating.
Oh, I was sweating it. I was like, is she gonna? I
knew she'd have it. So obviously this episode would go 5 hours if we recapped everything. So we've just got a couple of highlights picked out that we're gonna and but first of all, shout out to us. You and I are horrible about taking pictures together, especially when we're at.
I know we actually did.
We did. Thank you to Am I Doing It Right Pod across all social platforms. You do see a picture of Mrs. Keller and I dressed to the nines.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh, we look so good, and I'm not even ashamed because we rarely look good. So the fact that we look good is great. So, and we took a picture right in front of the state capitol. I thought about this, Katie. You're going to roll your eyes. So if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, you're about to roll your eyes, but or watch Katie, because I really thought later I was like, we should have brought a sign. Right, and we could have held it up in front of the Missouri State Capitol, and it could have said, "Legalize sports betting." You Governor Parson, what the hell are you waiting for? Come on, man, do it. We could have held that sign up right in front of the state capitol. What a great picture that would have been.
Okay, whatever.
At Am I Doing It Right Pod across all social platforms. Check that picture out of you and I looking nice. But I'm really proud of us. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with your toast? Do you want to start with... But
we start with Chandler. Let's just start at the beginning of the day.
Okay, so I'll tell this story because I feel like I have more of a beat on it since I was kind of the parent in charge.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Parent on deck.
Yeah, no, not on deck. I was in the batter's box.
Oh.
You were up front doing your thing. But so wedding day up. The rehearsal dinner, she did fine. There's really not a ton of stories there. But wedding day comes, right? And this is a Catholic wedding.
Oh, it was a Catholic wedding.
Like a 45-minute mass.
Yep.
Okay? And...
it was beautiful. It was in a beautiful cathedral. It was beautiful.
I know. We know that. People aren't here for the beauty. They're here for the silly parts of the story. So.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Beautiful Catholic mass venue, right? And all Catholic churches echo like crazy, right? So game time, you walk down the aisle, the bridesmaids, and then right before the bride, all the little flower girls walk down. Chandler nails it. I was there right on the front of the. I was on the side right by that aisle in case I needed to distract her and get her to walk down. But there was another little girl. There was 3 flower girls. And so this other little girl walked with her down the aisle, and Chandler nailed it like a champ. Shout out, Chandler. It was so good, actually, that what I ended up doing was hiding behind the pew because I didn't want her to see me and run to me. I wanted her to go all the way down the aisle to you, which she did.
She did. But the problem was then she left me with her because they didn't have little baskets. They had little cute little purses, right? And so Chandler gave me her purse. So I'm there holding 2 bouquets and a little baby purse after she goes back to you the entire ceremony.
Well, see, now, hold on. You jumped ahead of me there. So
Sorry.
she gets up to you. All is good. And I've got my eyes on you and only you. I'm sorry, Jordan. I know I should have been looking at you because you're the bride, but I was focused on that baby to make sure she didn't ruin your wedding. So I'm looking at you, and I'm watching you, and I'm waiting for a cue from you, and finally you give it to me. Hey, come get her. So I get her. La, la, la. Chandler, come to me. Look, here's a binky. She runs to me. Beautiful. Cool. They get on with the ceremony. Now, Katie, we're about 5 minutes into this ceremony. 5 minutes in.
Right.
Right? Da-da-da, welcome. We're here to celebrate Jordan and Kyle. Da-da-da-da. The Lord be with you.
And also with your spirit.
That's what they say now?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask a question? Catholics listening, when did they change that?
I don't have an answer. I don't know.
No, that's okay. Just comment below if you're watching on YouTube, Spotify, whatever. It used to be, the Lord be with you and also with you. But now it's,
and with your spirit.
Lord be with you and with your spirit. I would like to know when that changed. The last time I was in a Catholic church, it was, and also with you. Side note, just if someone could please clarify that, we would appreciate that.
Great.
But the Lord be with you and with your spirit. Okay, cool. And then the pastor says, let us bow our heads and pray. And usually, when pastors do that, they what, count 3 Mississippis? Right?
It's father. It's not pastor.
Is it father? Okay,
Father.
Sorry. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. So the father says, let us bow our heads and pray, right? And then they wait like 3 Mississippis. So we bow our head to pray, and we get to about 2 Mississippi. At this point, Chandler's done. She don't want to mess around anymore, and she is focused on one thing, and that is a snack. One of her favorite snacks are cheese balls. If you go to Hy-Vee, there's like this huge barrel of it. Oh, it's behind Katie in our script. In our video, if you're watching the video, it's behind Katie.
It's right there.
So we're at, let us bow our heads and pray. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Chandler decides she wants a cheese ball. When she wants us to know that she wants a cheese ball, she just says cheese ball. But she can't quite say cheese ball yet. So here's a recap of what happened. All right, Katie, are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. All right, folks, let us bow our head and pray. 1 Mississippi. Bee-ba! And when I tell you that her saying bee-ba, which is cheese ball, echoed in the Catholic Church, how things echo
It
in
really
that church,
did.
I was like, oh.
Well, and so the funny thing is obviously like not a lot of people speak Chandler toddler, right? So I'm standing there I was sitting at that point probably. And all of a sudden that's all I hear. And my friend Kylie is sitting next to me and she understands. Like she picks up, she knows. And she knew that was Chandler. And I'm sure she knew that meant cheese balls. So she starts giggling. I'm saying, oh my gosh, she can't start laughing. If she starts laughing, I'm going to lose it. Because I know that's my kid screaming for cheese balls in the middle of this beautiful Catholic cathedral.
So, Jordan, we apologize. And Kyle, we apologize. We hope you got a kick out of it because they were very understanding if they have children in the wedding and they knew that this would potentially happen.
But I think the thing is like, you had to understand. I mean, you and I had a game plan going into it, right?
Yeah.
If we like, of what was going to happen, of like, okay, here are your top 3 things that are going to get her down the aisle. 1, her passy. You're going to show her that thing. Keep in mind, this kid is wearing a white dress. Number 2, you're going to show her a pouch. Only in neutral colors because she has to take pictures afterwards. And 3, your absolute last resort is cheese balls. And I thought about this before, like during the rehearsal dinner. So I'm like, okay, we need to take a run to Target.
Right.
And, this is a wedding full of my college friends, right? So it's funny because we are all, a lot of them haven't met Chandler yet. They've met you, but they haven't met Chandler. And some of them were like, wait a minute, you have a kid? And I was like, surprise, shouty. And it was funny because I ran into some of my old, sorority sisters at Target, and one of them, like her stomach wasn't feeling good. So she's getting Tums and things like that. Another one's getting Spanx to put under her dress.
Nice.
And then there's me getting cheese balls. And I'm walking around Target with a giant vat of cheese balls because you can't buy them in a normal size. And I'm like, guys, our lives have changed very drastically.
Because you all went to college at William Woods, which is in Fulton, Missouri.
Yes.
If you know, you know. And so when you guys, I know there's that Walmart there in Fulton. When
And
you
that's
guys,
it.
when
That's
you guys
it.
were going there, the shopping list was definitely not Spanx, cheese balls, and Tums. It was
No.
vodka, rum, and beer. Right?
Oh, yeah. Like McCormick's. 2 bottles of wine. We used to play a game called Wine Edward Scissorhands. Terrible idea. Don't ever do it.
Don't ever play that game.
Yeah.
So anyway, so after Chandler yelled cheese ball at the top of her lungs and it echoed through this beautiful Catholic church, Dad took it upon himself. She made it through 5 minutes of 40, and then basically played outside for 40 minutes until I started seeing people roll out of there.
Yeah.
And
It was just probably for the best. It's fine.
all good.
But
And then-
otherwise, it was great.
we need to give credit where credit is due. Shout out to my mom, to Barb, Granny.
What a lifesaver.
Granny Barb, since we live in Kansas City, Barb lives in St. Louis, Jefferson City, a nice little halfway point. So she drove down. We got an Airbnb, not a traditional hotel. Great call by you, Katie.
That was a great call.
That way,
Toot my own horn.
go for it. That way, my mom was able to take Chandler afterwards, and you and I, Mom and Dad, were able to get out and party. We took full advantage. We had a good time.
We sure did. It was a great wedding.
And we enjoyed it. Great party, great reception. What is it? What event center is it called?
Capitol Bluffs.
Capitol Bluffs Event Center, near the Turkey Creek Golf Course. It's just on the other side of the river from the state capitol. If you stand outside in the front, you can see over the river and the state capitol in the distance. Just a beautiful view. There's a golf course right there as well.
You can see it from, what is that, 63 Highway?
Yep. Yep. It's a really cool place. So just a beautiful event all around. And then one of the things the night before the wedding, and I appreciate that you come to me for things like these. You sat down with me on the couch, and I was feeling very lazy. So you had to motivate me to kind of help you out with this.
Sure
And
did.
I'm sorry I didn't just
Honey,
up
we
and
were
do
all
it, but-
tired because we had
Yeah.
just gotten back from the rehearsal. We drove in that day, so I get it, but I had to nail it down. I had to get this.
Yeah,
I had to get my matron of honor speech done because I knew if we didn't get it done, if I didn't get it done that night, there was no way I was gonna get it. And I just had to put fine tune it, right?
You and I have a good routine when it comes to things like these, whether it's, and we both help each other out with this, whether it's, I think resume writing's a big thing, but also,
It's Monday night. Mom and Dad are tired.
Sorry, no, and I shouldn't do that. There we go. Wake up, Mike. But especially with something like a speech, I do appreciate that you ask my advice. I mean, hi, 17-year broadcaster here, so I do appreciate that you ask my advice and you take it seriously.
Yeah.
But I hope you appreciate that, I still understand that I will offer you advice and I will offer you critiques, but at the end of the day, it's your speech. It's up to you whether to take that advice or not. And the biggest piece of advice I gave you, you actually didn't take, which I think Jordan, I think it went over some of the crowd's heads, but I know that the bride liked it, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But usually what happens is you write a speech, and you, my fair critique of you, I don't think you would ever get mad at me for this, is that I think you use too many words. It's like, don't use 10 words when 5 words will do.
Right.
A lot of speeches tend to go on a little bit too long. And so I was hyper-focused on your speech, and I thought you did a great job of, one, getting the crowd riled up to start the speech. You delivered, a couple of good stories, but not too many stories. You didn't take up, all the time in the world. And maybe I'm biased, and this is no offense if anybody else who was spoke at Jordan's weddings listening to this podcast, but I'm biased. You're my wife, and I think you gave the best speech of the night, girl.
Thank you.
Oh, I think you
I allow
killed
you to be
it.
biased.
I think you killed it.
No, I think everybody gave really good speech. They had the whole crowd chuckling. I will say I didn't expect to go first, which is fine. Doesn't matter to me. So I kind of felt like I had took the need to, get the crowd going.
Yeah, you set the tone.
So I was really happy to do that, and I try to make a theme around my speech, to be honest. And, the whole thing was around how essentially my friend Jordan she just always knows the right thing to say and always has the best way of words. She's so funny.
Listen. Your speech was great and all that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
I know.
But I want you to get to the highlight of the speech that everyone listening to this podcast is going to appreciate, and it was a story about Jordan's dad, whose name is Kurt.
Oh, so I will say, Jordan and I, we were roommates through college, and her family always took me in. We were roommates after college as well. They were always involved me in family events and things like these. So they would watch Hank when we needed him to. They're just truly wonderful people. So this is kind of when I knew I was in with the family, because Jordan has a brother and sister as well. She's the oldest. And so we went to a wedding, and Jordan's sister couldn't go, so I went in her place. And we get to the wedding venue, and Jordan's dad goes, Katie, I need to have one of my talks with you, or a special talk with you, or something along those lines.
Yeah, very important talk just between you and the bride's dad.
Yes.
How long ago was this, by the way?
Oh, man, I was probably 22, 23.
Okay, so about a decade ago.
Yeah,
this happened.
this is-
That's how
this is
long you've
before.
been
This
in,
is-
like, quote unquote, in with this family. Okay.
And
So everybody else gets out the truck. You and Kurt
well,
are
everyone tries to warn me to not stay in the truck. It's like, Katie, don't do it. Don't do it. So they're trying to warn me.
But you don't know what's about to happen.
No.
So everyone else gets out of the truck. It's just you and Jordan's dad in the truck, okay?
Yeah. And he hotboxed me in the truck. I got out of there real quick right afterwards. When I heard it coming, I got out. But I knew I was in, because he knew, like, he could joke around with me like that. So it was like a warm fuzzy.
He said, Katie, I need to have a serious conversation with you. Everyone else he closes the doors, opens the windows, and just lets one rip. Let's go.
I ran out of the truck after that. But it was really funny.
I'm telling you, I was watching.
Farts are funny, okay?
I was watching you and him talk, and he knows, you and him, one of the things you have in common is your love of home improvement projects. And I know he was so proud, and he looks at you. He's like a father figure too, if I had to guess. I mean, I think he looks at you and cares about you. I
think he does, yeah. I
mean,
mean,
in the same way that a father cares about a daughter.
he would be there if we
Yeah,
if I
exactly.
needed him. Yeah,
like he would have your back, and it was. I just remember I tried joining your guys' conversation for 5 minutes. Then I kind of read the room, or just read your guys' conversation, and it was very clear that just the two of you were having a very special catch up conversation. I could tell he was really enjoying showing you things, and you were really enjoying just catching up with him. So I kind of just stepped back, and I don't know if you ever noticed this, but actually I stepped back about 5 feet, and I just kind of watched you two talk for a while, and it made my heart happy. I love weddings because
they bring people together.
Well, it's cool. And I remember ours specifically. I think anybody that's ever been married knows this. It's like that one time in your life, especially if you're able to wait a little longer. It's cool because you have all these different people from all these different chapters in your life.
Yeah.
People that would have never met and you are just that one common denominator. And to see I remember seeing, like, when I was in radio in Illinois in my early 20s, like, friends from there hanging out and having drinks with, like, some aunts and uncles of mine who probably drink a little too much. But it was like, man, like, those people didn't know each other, but, like, now they've met, and maybe they'll never talk again. And they won't ever talk again after this. But it's just cool to see all those chapters of your life come together all in one room, and it's like it really is special. You realize, man, it'll never be like that again. And now I think now you and I, Jordan got married on June 1st. June 2nd, you and I celebrated our 7-year wedding anniversary.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
that was a great party too.
Yeah.
I even had some people who were at our wedding as well.
Sure.
Came up and they're like, "Oh, we haven't seen you since your wedding. Man, that was a great party." And I'm like, "I heard I had a great time."
7 years ago. You believe that? 7
I know,
years
isn't
ago.
that insane? 7 years, COVID, a house, a baby, 3 dogs.
Yeah.
We're crushing it.
We've been together so long. We've had like a dog that's passed now.
know.
Like, that's how long it's been. Shout out, Hank. Rest in peace, buddy.
I know.
You're the best dog ever.
But,
King
you know.
Charles Cavaliers, man. Those are the best dogs ever. I would like to get a golden next dog we get, which is several years down the road.
Oh yeah, we need to be way farther down the line on that one. Let's not even talk about that. But
Anyway, congratulations to Jordan and Kyle.
I'm just
we
so
wish
happy
you
for.
a lifetime of happiness. We were honored, of course, to be there. And I will say, I'd like to go to more weddings.
We're going to one at the end of this month.
Yeah, shout out another avid podcast listener, my buddy Jesse from the aforementioned time in Illinois.
I'm excited because I feel like this
Well, you
is like
think
my
you're-
pot of people. No, I don't think this. I'm joke about it, but I don't think it. I like that this is your pot of people, and I joke that we're gonna run into all your ex-girlfriends. I mean, because if we do, it's fine. I don't care, and I joke I'm gonna become besties with them. But I'm excited that we're gonna like. To see you in your element with your people. Like, you kind of saw me in my element with my people. Like, I honestly, you probably didn't see me for like at least half the night. at Jordan's
You were
wedding.
busy, and I was just letting you do your thing.
But but that's because I was trying to take care of Jordan to make sure she had everything she needed and all that good stuff. But I'm excited.
Yep.
I'm excited.
June 29th, I'll be in Champaign, Illinois, home of the University of Illinois Fighting Illini. And Jesse, buddy, we can't wait to get up there, man. We're so fired up. I got to get my suit dry cleaned, man. I got to get.
Yeah, your suit does need to be dry cleaned.
Yeah, we got to get that cleaned up. No problem. Before we go, there's one other thing I'd like to bring up.
I'm scared.
And I'm going to bring... No. It's all good. Because you'll know exactly where I'm going with it. Because it's a sorry, not sorry moment.
Yeah.
Last week, I brought something home. And I didn't tell you that I brought it home.
Oh, my gosh.
Just so you could
Why did you do it?
Because I wanted you to feel the temptation that I feel every single day. So it's been nearly a year already. Yeah, it's been 10 months since the last time I was on the radio.
Right.
And since then, in order to just, obviously got to get the bills paid, I've been selling vehicles, first at Bob Allen Ford. Shout out to you guys. I love Bob Allen Ford. And then now at McCarthy Chevy in Lee Summit, a lot closer to home. And I'm really, I really feel like I'm starting to hit a stride here at McCarthy and really be successful at it, which I never thought in a million years would happen. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. But I'm telling you, I have never in my life even wanted to own a truck. I've just never really had the desire. I've never really had, and for me, it's always just been a need thing. Like I've never really had the need for one. I've been a suburbs kid my whole life, and there's just never a need for me to own one. But the longer I work at a car dealership, or at a vehicle dealership, a Chevy dealership, and a Ford dealership before that, I'm in around these Ford and Chevy trucks, which I think are the highest quality trucks on the market, highest quality trucks available. And, you drive one across the parking lot, and then they have you take one over to get it filled up at the gas station.
You're getting used to it, aren't you?
You sit inside one, and you see how nice it is, just how spacious these four-door trucks are now, man. They're crazy. And then you sit in a couple of Silverado High Countries, which are the most luxurious of all the trucks that Chevy has to offer. And man, oh man, it's just, you're just kind of like, man.
So, okay, but tell the whole story of like what happened. Like our text message conversation, like we got to get there.
I don't remember our text conversation. You set that part up.
Okay, so basically you would text me, because you text me pretty, like once or twice a week, I would say, with a car that you were like, hey, babe, let me do it. Let me do it.
Can I bring this home?
Can I bring this home?
Can I buy this?
And you sent me like another truck, and I'm like, meh, it's fine. Whatever.
Oh my gosh, it was a blue Chevy, people. Blue 22 LTZ, which means it has all the fixins on the inside, sunroof and everything. Only had 20,000 miles on it. This thing was divine. And I'd tell you to come see me.
Divine, say.
Because I would tell you to see me and come buy it, but it already sold. It was on our lot for 18 hours, and it sold.
Oh, wow.
It's long gone. Yeah.
Well, I'm not mad that it's gone. But you sent that to me, and I was kind of like, meh, all right. Like, we don't need a blue truck. Like, I'm not. But then you're like, oh, yeah, well, I guess the managers were talking to you and said.
So here's what happened.
Yeah.
It was a slow day that day. For whatever reason, just no one was coming. I didn't have any appointments scheduled, which is rare. And I didn't have any, and just there wasn't a lot of just foot traffic, like people just walking in randomly that didn't have appointments. And you can only make so many phone calls for you're like, all right, on slow days, I get bored and I go truck shopping. Okay. So sue me. So I started telling the boss man about. I was like, dude, what can we do with that? I gave him a number. I'm like, can we? If I were to buy this truck, could you get me to this monthly payment? And the short answer was no. But he's like, but for the number I presented to you, forget this 2-year-old truck. I can get you in a brand new one, High Country, which is the most luxurious thing Chevy has to offer. And
black on black midnight edition.
And I just kind of went. Oh. And I would have actually not brought that home, except I sent you the link to the Black on Black Midnight Edition High Country. And almost every vehicle I sent to you, you're always like, meh, that's stupid. I don't like it. But then I sent you that Midnight Black one, and your reaction via text was, ooh.
No, it was an ooga text.
Ooga. I like that one. And I'm like, and my ass, I'm sorry, Katie, I couldn't help it. I'm like, done. I go right into the office. I'm like, my wife says she's like that one. Let me take it home to her so she can drive it tonight.
I thought you told me that we were joking around. I was like, no, just kidding. And they're like, oh no, take it home. See what she says. Oh, okay. So this is what really happened, is what you're telling me. Okay.
I may have lied. But it doesn't matter because you look. You were actually outside. Our next door neighbors, who we love, we frequently talk about, had this. They have the pool out back, and then I come down the main road that faces their pool. And you see the black truck come around the corner, and you're like, mother trucker, I know that's him. And they're like, no, it's not. And I drive past you on the window and I'm like, what up? And you're like, you son of a bitch.
That's pretty much exactly what happened. I was like, what in the ever loving F are you doing? Like, why? Why would you do this? That is so stupid. Honey, like we have these hypothetical situations, like conversations all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
And then you bring home this truck.
Yeah. So whatever. Cool.
And then
so
you throw me the keys like, here, let's go up to Home Depot. I know you like going there. And I
take
do
it for a drive.
I do like going to Home Depot.
Hey, you could have just said no.
No, I couldn't have.
Why not?
Because you would not have let me. Come on, like we have it for the night. Let's have some fun. Come on.
Let's take it for a drive. Mm-hmm. What'd you think of it?
Of course I loved it.
Yeah.
Like I'm a truck girl. Yeah. Like you grew up like never needing a truck, right? I grew up. Like if anybody needed a truck growing up, it was me. Because I was hauling horses, hauling around tack, hauling around shit, like hauling around things left and right. If anybody needed a truck, it's me.
I know.
And it's still in my blood. And of course I got in that truck and I got all nostalgic and I got all happy. But I'm telling you, it's a gateway drug. Mm-hmm. It's a gateway drug, one, to get more drugs, and two, if we get a truck, we're definitely getting a horse.
We're not going to get a horse.
We're getting a horse.
As soon as you said we're getting a horse, if you're watching on video, the balloon effect just went off, and I really don't like the timing of that at all.
We're getting a horse. Chandler needs a horse.
No, she does not need a horse.
Ponies
she needs
are
a
awful.
horse like we need a truck.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. They go hand in hand, and it's going to happen.
No, they don't. They
Yes,
do
they
in your
do.
world, but not in my world. They don't go hand in hand.
Are you kidding me? A high country truck?
Yeah.
And
It's
I
made
do,
for luxury.
and I do,
it's made for luxury. It's not meant to smell like horse poop.
No, but it's meant to haul what you need to luxuriously for those weekend horse shows, those weekend rodeos that
We don't have
Chandler's going to
weekend
go
horse
to.
shows.
No, not with that attitude. We don't.
Yeah, that's the attitude I want to have. We can haul our volleyball or hockey gear.
I'm just saying. It's what's going to happen.
What sport do you think she's going to play? We got a picture here. I'll hold it up to the screen so you guys can see it on the screen. We got a picture from daycare today.
It's not going to be basketball.
I don't think it'll be basketball.
I don't think it'll be
either.
volleyball either.
But I'm telling you, dude, I think volleyball might if she's tall. But look at Lyra. Let me hold the phone up there. For those of you watching on video, she is balling out at daycare there. It looks like she's taking a jump shot. Look at her.
It does. But I'm telling you, honestly, I think it would either be soccer, softball. And I'm going to say this, and you're going to be like, oh, it's just because you did it. But no, she has such a love for animals. I think horses have a strong running.
Oh, I think horses will. I think equestrianism will definitely be in her future, but I think it'll be because you and your mother will absolutely be like.
I think we'll enter. If she doesn't like it, she doesn't have to. I can still show without her. I can do my own dang thing in my own dang truck.
So we're probably gonna be a 2-truck family. That's what it is. No room in the garage because both our trucks are too big to fit in it.
Exactly.
It can be a man garage.
If I get a Silverado, are you going to get a Colorado?
No, because I can't be and listen, I know it's 2024. Y'all know. No, I cannot be a man driving a mid-sized truck while my wife drives a full-size truck. I can't have it.
Do you know what I was actually really shocked about that truck? Is just the space in the back. Mm-hmm. Like, there is no way.
Yeah, they sacrificed the beds are only like 5.5 feet now. Beds
Which
used to
is
be like
fine.
6 or 6.5 feet, but now the beds are 5.5 feet, so they can have the full cab.
Like, because I mean, we're like talking about like car seat clearance, right? Because these are things I have to think about too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like,
chill.
Putting either like the little pumpkin seat you pop in, or we have one of those rotating car seats. Mm-hmm. Like, you would have so much clearance for both the driver and passenger with both of those.
For activities.
It's like crazy. Like, I was honestly shocked by that. I was like, look at all this space back here. It's wild.
It's dude, the Silverado is done right.
And it drove so nice. God, I hate that truck.
I know.
I hate it. We can't get it. We're not getting a truck.
I just want to say that remember to follow us on social media. Am I Doing It Right Pod? We'll make sure to post the picture of the new truck we're doing here soon. Here's why we can't, because we just had to buy a new HVAC unit.
Yeah, we're not doing it. We're not getting a truck.
Until that sucker's paid off, we can.
And my car's almost paid off. Like, we don't need to do it. That is not smart.
Got a lot of positive equity in that Jeep, though. Your payments be very affordable.
I know.
Want me to run the numbers?
No. I would know I look so good driving that truck, too.
No. Bring it in like tomorrow just to see.
No.
Yeah, just bring it in. We'll take
I have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, no, you don't. Not that long.
Goodbye.
Talk to you next week.